Have you ever noticed your dog sniffing at a specific part of your body and thought, that is a bit strange? Most owners brush it off. Dogs sniff things. That is what they do. But what if that quiet moment, the one you barely noticed, was your dog trying to tell you something about your own body that you had not noticed yet? For a long time, we thought stories like that were coincidences, sweet tales, owners projecting feelings onto their pets. But over the last 20 years, something has changed. Scientists started paying attention. They started running studies. And what they found is honestly one of the most extraordinary things anyone has ever discovered about the animals living in our homes. Your dog has access to a version of your body that you will never see, hear, or feel yourself. And in some cases, they notice things about your health long before you do. Here is what is really going on. 1. Your dog is reading you through a sense you cannot even imagine. Let us start with the raw numbers, because they matter. The human nose has about 6 million scent receptors. That is what lets you smell coffee in the morning, or notice when someone has been cooking onions. Your dog has somewhere between 200 and 300 million scent receptors. In some breeds, even more. And the part of their brain that processes smell is roughly 40 times larger, in proportion, than yours. That is not a small difference. That is a different way of experiencing the world. Imagine walking into a house, and instead of smelling one thing, like dinner, you smelled every single ingredient in the pot separately. The garlic that went in an hour ago, the salt, the oil, the onions that were browned before the chicken went in, all at once, all at the same time, all perfectly clear. That is what your dog does every time they walk into a room. And that is what they do to you every time they get near you. When your dog sniffs your hand, your face, your breath, your skin, they are not just smelling you as one thing. They are reading dozens of separate signals. Your stress level, your last meal, whether you have been near another animal, whether something in your body chemistry has shifted. Your body gives off chemistry every second of every day. And your dog is one of the few beings on Earth that can actually read that chemistry in real time, which is where this starts to become extraordinary. 2. Some illnesses change the chemistry of your body, and your dog can pick that up. This is the part that surprises most people the first time they hear it. But the science behind it is real. Some diseases produce chemical changes in the body. Certain cancers release specific compounds called volatile organic compounds. Some infections trigger changes in inflammation and body chemistry. Even something as invisible as a rising or falling blood sugar level or a shift in hormones from stress can produce molecules that leave your body through your breath, your sweat, and your skin. You cannot smell any of it. Your dog often can. Medical Detection Dogs, a charity based in the United Kingdom, has been training dogs for years to detect specific health conditions. Their studies have shown that trained dogs can, in controlled settings, identify certain cancers from urine samples with meaningful accuracy. Some trained dogs can detect low blood sugar in people with type 1 diabetes and alert them before symptoms fully appear. And during the pandemic, dogs were trained to detect COVID-19 from samples of sweat, with promising results in laboratory conditions. The accuracy varies between studies. Trained dogs are not a replacement for medical testing, and they are not perfect. But what these studies have shown, again and again, is that dogs can detect changes in human chemistry that no human nose could ever pick up. That is not folklore. That is measurable. And it opens a question that most owners have quietly wondered about for years. If a trained dog can detect these things in a controlled setting, what is your dog, the one who lives with you, sleeps near you, and reads your baseline chemistry every single day, actually noticing? 3. The behavior changes are quiet and easy to miss. Here is where it gets personal. Your own dog is not a medical detection dog. They have not been trained to identify anything. They cannot diagnose you. They cannot even tell the difference between a cold, a stressful week, and something more serious. But they can notice that something about you has changed. And when they do, their behavior often changes with it. Watch for these patterns, not as a diagnosis, but as signals worth paying attention to. Your dog starts following you more closely than usual. They stay near you when they would normally be resting elsewhere. They seem to check on you more often, sometimes several times an hour. They begin sniffing at a specific part of your body, persistently, gently, without any obvious reason. A particular spot on your leg, your chest, your abdomen, your neck. They become quieter around you, less playful, less demanding, as if they are being careful with you in a way they never were before. They start sleeping closer, pressing their body against yours, refusing to settle in another room the way they used to. Some dogs will even show signs of low-level worry, a softer set of the eyes, a body that stays alert even when yours is resting. None of these things on their own means anything definite. Dogs behave strangely sometimes. They have moods, they have off days. Sometimes they pick up on stress, or a change in your routine, or a smell from a new product in the house. But when several of these signs appear at once, and stay, and cluster around a specific part of your body, that is worth paying attention to. Not as a diagnosis, as a nudge. Your dog might be noticing something that has not fully landed in your awareness yet. 4. They may notice before you do. This is the part that sounds almost impossible until you understand the science. Many of the changes that dogs seem to notice happen in the body long before a person notices any obvious symptoms. A cancer, for example, can release detectable compounds into the body before it becomes large enough to cause pain or fatigue. Your immune system may be responding to something quietly, in the background, without producing any noticeable warning at all. You will not feel it. You will not see it. Your body will not tell you yet. But it may smell different. Not to you. You cannot detect your own scent changes. Not to most people around you. Their noses are not built for it. But to your dog, the one who has been reading your baseline chemistry every single day for months or years, the change may be noticeable. They have a reference point. They know what you normally smell like, your normal breath, your normal skin, your normal sweat. So when something shifts, even slightly, they may pick it up. They will not understand what it means. They cannot connect it to illness the way a doctor could. But they may know something is different. And in the language they have, through proximity, through sniffing, through closeness, through refusal to leave your side, they try, in their own way, to say it. The tragedy is that most of us do not know how to listen. 5. The stories that made scientists take this seriously. For decades, dogs detecting illness was treated as folk wisdom, anecdotes, sweet coincidences, not real science. Then the stories started to add up. Over the years, owners have shared reports that follow the same pattern. A dog that keeps sniffing a specific mole on their owner's skin again and again until the owner finally gets it checked. A dog that presses their nose against the same spot on their owner's chest day after day, refusing to leave it alone. A dog with no training at all, who wakes their owner in the night by nudging, whining, refusing to let them sleep. Some of these stories led to nothing, but enough of them led to real medical findings that researchers started to notice. Early skin cancers, undiagnosed lung conditions, sudden drops in blood sugar during sleep. These stories on their own could easily be dismissed. But when they started to add up, hundreds of cases, then thousands, researchers began asking a different question. What if the dogs were not just being lucky, What if some of them were actually noticing something real? That is when the studies began. That is when the training programs started. That is when we finally began to take seriously what dogs may have been telling us all along. And what we found is that, in a lot of cases, they were right. 6. What to do if your dog is trying to tell you something. Here is the honest, careful truth. Not every strange behavior from your dog is a warning about your health. Sometimes dogs are just tired. Sometimes they are hormonal. Sometimes they are picking up on stress in the house, or a change in routine, or something completely unrelated to your body. You should not read every clingy afternoon as a health emergency. But when your dog changes in a way that is genuinely out of character, when they show a pattern of behavior that is new, persistent, and clustered around a specific part of your body, it is worth taking seriously. Not with panic, with attention. If your dog keeps sniffing at a mole, get it looked at. If your dog is suddenly refusing to leave you alone when they used to be independent, notice it. If your dog is behaving as if something is different and you cannot explain why, book a checkup. Doctors will not diagnose you based on your dog's behavior, but your GP can look for the things you might otherwise have ignored. And catching something early, even when nothing else has warned you yet, can change the course of everything. Your dog is not a medical device. They are not a diagnostic tool. But they are a very old, very sensitive presence that has been living alongside human beings for tens of thousands of years, reading us in ways no other animal can. Every so often, they notice something before you do. The kindest thing you can do, for them and for yourself, is not to dismiss it. There is a specific kind of love that dogs seem to save for the humans they have chosen. It is quiet. It is patient. It does not always look the way we expect love to look. It does not always come with tail wags and excitement. Sometimes it comes as worry. Sometimes it comes as closeness that will not let go. Sometimes it comes as a nose that will not stop returning to the same spot on your body, week after week, until you finally take notice. That worry, that closeness, that persistence, is love in a form we do not always recognize. Your dog cannot save your life directly. They cannot tell you what is wrong. They cannot take you to the doctor. They cannot explain the chemistry their nose is reading in the air around you. But they can love you enough to keep telling you that something feels different in every language available to them until you finally listen. That is not folklore. That is not projection. That is one of the most remarkable things a bonded animal can offer another being. The next time your dog acts strangely around you, do not just laugh it off. They may be noticing something in you that you have not noticed yet. And they may be trying, in their own quiet, patient way, to make sure you notice it in time. If this made you see your dog differently, hit like. Drop a comment telling us if your dog has ever behaved as if they knew something you did not. And subscribe so you do not miss what is coming next. Because the more you understand your dog, the better life gets for both of you.